Oh, ho, 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 ho. Welcome back to another early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is your coach, Coach Frenchy, back in the booth. Hopefully you have an amazing, great, thankfully day. And like we do at the beginning of each show, we welcome everybody because we have some people all around the world. And let's start with directly from New Brunswick, Brian and Minnie. Welcome aboard. Then we have to go directly from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm sure he's not feel great today because his team, Boston Bruins, got eliminated yesterday, but I know he's going to have a great mindset this morning with us, Mr. John Gregor. And welcome, Mr. Philip and Jackson, Game of Game. Welcome aboard, everybody. If you are bored, talking about this right now, he's on the rest and waiting to know who's going to play against him the next couple of days. Welcome, directly from Montreal, Carey Price. Directly from England, Mr. William Sheffield. And of course, we have Manuel Marquez. And the man always brings a lot of great comments every single morning. Welcome back, Mr. Jensen, and welcome in the house. But we have to find the one directly from West Coast and California. The number one fans of Detroit Red Wings. Welcome back, the co-host of the day, Mr. Michael Devellano.
Hey, Pierre. I'm going to be mobile for a few minutes.
Not a problem.
I got to make some coffee this morning.
Here we go. You need your coffee to talk about hockey.
Oh, my God. My brain. Hurting from all the craziness of hockey right now.
I know, right? It's crazy when you see that. So, but before that, let's go welcome directly from Russia, Oleg Kolesnikov. Oh. We all look like Michael. We are all over on the map, to be honest with you. We are from Russia,
we are.
New
We're
Brunswick.
Like local. We're international, Pierre.
That's awesome. So welcome, everybody. What's going on this morning, guys? And we have a lot of talk today. We're going to talk about, of course, the game between the Boston and the New York Islanders. We're going to talk about the big game tonight, game number 6 between the Vegas and Colorado. We're going to talk about the other things, what happening around the league, NHL, a lot of signature. Edmonton Oilers have a busy night last night. I'm pretty sure they was not working and watching the game because they got a couple of signatures over there. The Minnesota Wild signed a new member of the business operation. And we have one player left, the NHL, going to play in Europe. And, of course, we have other news around the league, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to, at the end of the show, we're going to talk about the money line, who you should bet on the game tonight, what your expectation, the prediction of Michael Devellano at the end. And tomorrow, guys, we have a new guest, not a new guest, a new game. It's called Stay or Out. It's a Friday, so it's a fun day. We're going to bring this to you guys the next couple of minutes. But let's talk a little bit about all the news around this. And I'm sure Michael is going to talk about this, about the news, everything like that. So let's moving up to the next where we need to get there. Here we go. And first of all, we want to talk about this. Michael, I don't know if you heard this one, but Devon Shore signed a contract of 2 years, a 1.7 contract with an AAV of $850,000 per year. I think he was coming from Washington Capitals, if I can recall it. I don't know if you want to mention about that.
Well, I thought he played Columbus.
Possible, maybe I'm not remember exactly where he's coming.
I think last year he played Anaheim and Columbus. he's had some successful years. If you look back, like when he played with Dallas, he had 13 goals one year, 33 points, 11 goals, 32 points. And then when he was traded, even that year, he had 10 goals and 19 assists. So he's a useful kind of third, fourth line guy. And, I think their strategy has been obviously to put depth in the third and fourth line and make so there's competition there. We know they also had a lot of players that were up for contract. So I think this is not surprising. I don't think it's a major deal, but at least, he can play a little bit. He's not a bad player.
No, I think for me, it's more about the bottom six, and he can bring a couple of things over there.
I have to apologize. He actually already played for the Oilers. He had 5 goals in 38 games for the Oilers this year.
Yeah. He played there. He had 8 years in NHL. He played with Toronto, Dallas, and one other thing. I think Philadelphia.
He never played for Toronto, Pierre.
I'm sorry?
Devon Shore? Devon Shore never played for Toronto. So he played Dallas, Anaheim,
I'm sorry.
Columbus.
It's Anaheim. I apologize.
Yeah. Does he have a brother, though? That's Nick Shore, isn't it?
I'm not sure if his brother is that's part of that. He played only 6 games in Columbus, by the way.
Yeah, he was like, I think he has a brother, or maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm confusing with Nick Cousins.
Yeah.
Devon Shore, that's like.
Welcome, Mr. Canadian Giants, directly from Westmount and Montreal. Welcome aboard. Talking about signature, Michael, we have another one for you. And this one not surprised me. He left the Edmonton Oilers. Caden Ass got a 5-year contract with the EHC, the BNBN and NL. Last year, only 2 goals, 1 assist, and 34 games with the Edmonton Oilers. A center, not really a big impact with the Edmonton Oilers last year. They have a lot of players like him and around the NHL, I believe.
Sorry, who is it?
Gaeta Az.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yep.
You know what? I thought he actually played pretty well for Edmonton. I'm kind of surprised they're not bringing him back.
Yep. So that's what happening about that one over there.
Interesting.
Yep. I think, he was not bad, but I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, I think he got a very good contract over there. That's maybe the reason he left with AHC. Honestly, 5 years contract, so that's give him a guarantee. So I think that's the reason about that one over there. You know what I mean?
There was an interesting signing. I don't know if you noticed this one, which was a few days ago. It was 6 days ago by Los Angeles signed one of their draft picks, which is Helga Grands.
Yep.
He's a really interesting prospect. Like, he's a big mobile defenseman from Sweden. And I think he was drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was drafted here. Oops. Yeah, he's a guy. I think we were both there when he got drafted.
Okay.
I think it was the draft in Dallas, maybe, because it was 2020. So was that remote? That was probably remote, right? Yeah, so I guess it was last year. But he's a Swedish national player. Like, he played for the World Juniors, and he's a really interesting prospect. He's a pretty high skill guy. So it'll be interesting to see. He played for the Malmo Redhawks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how he does. And I don't know if you noticed, but Chicago signed Lucas Reichel to a entry-level 2-way deal.
Okay.
And Lucas Reichel is he's a very talented German player.
Yep.
That I don't know. I think we didn't get to see him at World Juniors, did we?
I see.
Did he miss the World Juniors?
I'm not sure.
No, he played. Yeah, he played in the World Juniors. He had 4 goals in 3 games for Germany.
Okay.
But I think he missed a bunch of games, and I can't remember why. So that's a very. I was surprised because he went 17th in the draft last year, and I thought, man, someone should grab this guy because he's really highly talented and he really has a knack around the net. So that's going to be a great signing, I think, for Chicago.
Okay. The Vancouver Canucks, Michael, trade, but not trade. They hire a lot of people over there. I don't know if you want to follow about that part over there. Honestly,
Well, I thought the big news was Ray Shero.
yes, that's the next one after that.
Who was hired in Vancouver?
They re-engaged the staff over there.
Oh, okay.
Brett Shaw, everybody like that. You know what I mean?
Bradshaw as an assistant. He's been an assistant for a long time.
Yep.
Kyle Gustafson. I don't know Kyle.
And
Nolan
then you got
Baumgartner
welcome back, Baumgartner, Jason King, King, and the goaltender over there. So I think that's another thing happening for Vancouver. Move on up to the next one. You talk about it was this one over there.
Yeah, this one was an interesting one. So Ray Shero obviously won a Stanley Cup with Pittsburgh in 2009. Things didn't really work out in New Jersey. He made some pretty aggressive moves, but just not enough, I guess, with PK Subban drafting Nico Heishier. They had one good year there and then just didn't really pull it together. So they moved on from him, obviously. And I think Tom Fitzgerald's done a good job, but again, not the results that we would have expected for Tom. So this is interesting because he's going to support Bill Guerin.
Yep. And at the end of the day, Michael, I think it's a relationship they built long time ago as a hockey players, and then after that, as a member of the business operation with the Pittsburgh, as Guerin was with him. So I think that's good. A little bit of experience. I think it will helping Guerin behind that. And I believe, Michael, I could be wrong, but is it not a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, Bill Guerin got an assistant general manager or something like that?
Well, they just signed him, so I don't know.
I don't recall it. The time you're looking for, let's welcome Mr. Michael Rosenblatt.
I'm not sure.
Carrie, you have a good question. Carrie, Michael is from West Coast, so he's still 8 o'clock in the morning. But it's a funny question. He said, how many coffee do you get, Michael?
I only have one. I have a keto coffee, so I put
because he's taking you 11:15 right now, Michael. So that's one.
No, this is my breakfast. I have a keto coffee with Laird Superfood. So shout out to Laird Hamilton. And
welcome, Mose Malone. It was a funny one, but I was just laughing. Michael, I want to talk to you also. Talking about hiring, maybe you know that he was live last night for the first time.
PK Subban.
Yeah.
I think PK's future is probably in the media. Like he enjoys that, and I think he does a pretty good job. He's got some personality. I know that maybe I don't know. There's something about his personality that rubs people the wrong way in the dressing room sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think he's really well suited for the media.
I think so too. I think you have a fun personality, right? And I think he could be.
Yeah.
I don't want to consider him like him, but he could be another like Charles Barkley,
He might be. I don't know. I guess, I could see PK being kind of that outspoken type guy, right?
Yeah.
He might be a little controversial.
Stories, if you tell that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. I think Charles is always willing to speak his mind,
Yep.
So maybe that's a good comparison.
Yeah. After that, we have that's announcing yesterday, and I want you to talk about this. It's that's the last news around the league, but tell me about that one over there, the trophy Calder. We have Adam Fox, Victor Edmond, and Kel McCarr. I would like you to mention about those three, but also maybe one or two maybe they're missing in the board, or you thinking, no, this is great, 3 players, they should be there.
Well, I guess I'm not really surprised. I'd be curious to see the overall voting. I haven't seen that. I don't know if you've seen, let's see the voting. Because they usually have nominees that are beyond that, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. But I don't know if they publish that later.
No, they are confirmed.
Well, those 3 are confirmed, but I'm just curious who is kind of like after that.
Oh, after that?
So that's interesting. Because I would think that Yeah, I think that there was some discussion of whether, and I don't think this was going
We
to
talked
happen,
together.
but
We talked together, Michael. Like maybe Don and Nurse or Chinkron
right.
for Arizona, or maybe John Carlson or Letank. I don't see other
Yeah.
players right now in my mind, but could be wrong. But I think they are the
Well,
next three.
Letang, like I think had a phenomenal year.
Yeah,
Like I think that you could look at his season and go, why wouldn't he be in this mix? Adam Fox, I've always had a bit of a problem with Adam Fox just because of how he entered the NHL. He, he pulled this power play with the team that drafted him. They trade him to Calgary, pulls a power play with Calgary, and ends up, for the New York Rangers. So I think I have this issue where people are skirting the draft system
yeah.
and they use the college route to do that, and they've got to figure out a way to close that loophole. I don't know what it is. Um, he's just been a difficult guy. Like, think about it. He could have been playing in Carolina.
Yep.
Could have been playing. How much would Calgary need him right now? So I think that's my biggest problem with Adam Fox. He's better than I thought he was. Will he be a perennial Norris Trophy candidate? I'm not sure about that.
We have
We're
to
going to find
repeat
out. He's
again.
going to get lots of attention. I think Cale Makar is like phenomenal. Like he's
Oh yeah.
such a high end talent, high hockey IQ, elite skating. So this is great.
He's the next generation defenseman.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a guy that since he's come in the NHL has had no adjustment. He's had a point a game pretty much in the playoffs and in regular season. He's just such a high end.
It's impressive when you say he was what, 8 or 10 overall pick?
Fourth.
I'm sorry?
Fourth.
It was fourth? I think it was a bit. Oh, it's
no, if you look back at that draft, like
it
that
was Rantanen.
the,
I'm sorry. It was Mika Rantanen.
Yeah. What's interesting about him is, when he was drafted, he didn't come right into the NHL, and he's from the 2017 draft. So the first pick in that draft was Nico Heusheyer and then Nolan Patrick. And then you had some interesting players that were you got Miro Heiskanen in Dallas, who's become, a very, very high-end defenseman. Then Cale Makar went, and he didn't come. He's only played 100 NHL games. All those other guys have played 200 NHL games. So there was funny. It was like, Colorado finished last, got a bad draw in the draft. Lots of criticism because of guys like all the other players were playing in the NHL, including Peterson, right? Like Peterson was picked after him. But now, Pierre, he might be the best of all of them.
Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. So
we'll
I think see what that pick. If you have a pick right now in 30 seconds, Michael, before we move on, who do you pick for the trophy holder? We're going to cut more
it's
like
hard
the
to
next
overlook
one.
Hedman. I suspect it'll be Hedman, but I would like to see Makar.
I see.
And I hope Adam Fox never wins anything.
All right. Welcome, Adrien Bourgon. I'm sorry about that, Bourgon. Welcome aboard. Michael, I want to move on to the next a couple of things going on today. We have also talking about the Boston Bruins and the New York Islanders. I want to mention this. I make a little bit graphic that give you all the score there, that give you all the stat of the game, and also all the players participate. Give us a little bit in a few minutes your comments about the game, and everybody in the chat room want to mention about that game. What do you think about the game? We will talking with you guys, but what do you think, Michael?
You have to give so much credit to Trotz. Like Barry Trotz is so integral to this team's success. They have one really, really high-end talented player, and then they have guys that are definitely a tier below but contribute consistently. We again see the third and fourth lines impact that game. It's such a prototypical Lou Lamoriello team as well, which it reminds you of the New Jersey teams where they just had depth. The third and fourth line were big, and they were in everybody's face, and they're just always on the right side of the puck, and then they get great goaltending. And they're just a hard team to play against. Like, what we're seeing in this playoffs is consistent, which is the star players are being targeted and tried to take them out of the equation. So teams that are top heavy with star players, even if they're not top heavy, that's a consistent strategy. It goes back to the old school days in the 80s and 90s, I would say, and probably before that. And you can't do that with New York. Like, you can't do that with the Islanders. And to an extent, you can't do that with Boston, because Boston is they usually have checking guys, but who is Bergeron going to check that's going to matter with the Islanders? Like, he can check Brock Nelson all he wants, but Brock Nelson's going to do the same thing back to him. You can go after Barzal. I don't think you're going to, he's not counted on to be the center of the offense. So it's just a really interesting formula. You've got to give a lot of credit to the Islanders, because it looked like in the beginning that Boston was going to run the table. They had a great first round, and they just adjusted. And I mean, it was like 6-2 last night. Like, it's just a chess match,
Yeah, as a Boston Bruins yesterday, I think you feel bad because you're upset because
they played great.
The New York Islanders have an amazing, great run last night. But Michael, I'm going to ask you this question and tell me under or over. So, or tell me if he played more at 13 minutes or not. Matthew Barzal played more at 13 minutes or not?
I mean, you got to think he played more than 13 minutes. He didn't?
Jordan Eberle, over or under 13 minutes?
I mean, you got to think they're all over. But
Michael, go get this. 10 minutes.
What?
The line. Not only, I thought Barzal was hurt.
What?
If you have a time, just check the time there.
Jordan Eberle, 11:46. Barzal, 10 minutes and 58 seconds?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And who played with them? Check. You have another guy with him at 10 minutes something.
Matt Martin?
No. I don't. You have another one. I think.
Matt Martin was 10.
Who?
Oh, Beauvillier? He had 19 minutes.
No.
I mean, he really relied on Beauvillier.
So you have another guy play with them, like a left wing. He played like.
Clutterbuck or?
No. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but
hard to tell.
It's crazy. But
I mean, Palmieri was 14 minutes. Like, this is crazy when you look at it. I didn't even realize this. So to your point, 11:46 for Eberle, 17 minutes for Josh Bailey, 10 minutes and 58 seconds for Barzal. What the hell? Travis Zajac was 15 minutes. Clutterbuck was 13 minutes. Matt Martin was 10 minutes. Beauvillier, 19 minutes and 39 seconds, Pierre. And then Palmieri was 14. Nelson was 19. So they really relied on that second line.
And Peugeot was like 14, 15.
17.
17. So what he did, he really played with the best of the best. Not the best of the best. He played really the second line a lot, the third line a lot. And then he said, you know what, we're winning. We'll just drop down now the line. So
you know what? It's crazy. Noah Dobson, who factored in on that goal, 11 minutes, Peter.
Yep.
He was the only defenseman not to play like 19 minutes.
Yep.
Every other defenseman was 20, 22, 19, 22, 23. And Noah Dobson, who I thought, I mean, he played, that was a, important shot.
And Dobson did not play on power play?
He played a minute 27.
Yeah. I think so yeah.
Regular shift, he was under 10 minutes, Pierre.
Who?
Noah Dobson played a minute 27 out of the 11 on power play. So it was under, that's crazy.
Yep. I just want to welcome Mr. Ryan Stewart and Jennifer. Welcome aboard. Chunky Alfredo, welcome aboard. And also Mark Oliveras, welcome aboard. Just want to mention, everybody, it's not because we ignore you. It's just like the morning at 11 o'clock is another format where we talk and we discuss about certain conversations. So we're not too much on the chat all the time. So we don't forget you guys. Don't forget to click on the likes and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That'd be awesome. What was impressed me yesterday, Michael, it was the performance of the overall. We watch a lot of Montreal Canadiens, so the zone coverage is really great for Montreal. And I see the
Yeah,
same
but
similar from New York Islanders yesterday. Boston have
same.
a difficult time at 5 versus 5. They was chasing the puck constantly on the defensive
Constantly.
side, one about. And I think McEnvoy and I apologize his last name, number 48,
Grotech or
Grelchek.
whatever.
He struggled.
Yeah,
Both of them
he struggled.
have a very difficult time. They are -4. McEnvoy, I believe,
-3.
yesterday. I know the 6-2 don't represent the final score. They have 2 goals in empty net. It was 4-2, honestly.
Well,
But what was shocked for me, Michael, is to put the really like the survive game, right? The last game of the year where you have to win under 30 shot for Boston Bruins. If you look all the stats, game 5, 4, 3, 2, you're going to see Boston was shooting a lot of puck on Varlamov all the time, 39 shot, 41 shot. And last night, they completely shut down them for the beginning to the end.
Crazy, Pierre. Like, again, just looking at the ice times and how they played, and I think I said this last night. For me, the big story was Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
He was obviously instrumental in the game last night, but overall, like, he's just a big body in the middle. He contributes offensively, and he's tough to play against without the puck.
Yep.
Like, this is like a coach's dream as a second line center. Like,
Well, the
really
second line step up, right?
team.
Yesterday, the second
They
line
played
step up
first
with
line minutes.
Bailey over there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to see that. So I
Crazy.
just want to welcome Miles Tessier. Welcome aboard, buddy. Hopefully you have an amazing, great day. Overall, I think that's, see Nelson, Bailey got the first star, second star, and then Varlamov, he keep the team at the right time for them. And I think for them, it's a great performance for New York Islanders. We're not going to mention the series yet, Michael, for the Tampa. We're going to keep it for tomorrow when they're going to start the next couple of days. We're not going to prediction or who's going to win this morning. But I want to finish this like another part of the show where I prepare for you about what's next for Toronto for the Boston Bruins. And I'm going to show you the UFA and all kind of stuff like that from the Cap Friendly. And I want you to give us some comments about what you believe what's next for them, what you're happening right there, and maybe see who's going to protect. But this right now, you can see I give you a nomination of the Cap Friendly. You have David Krejcik at 7.2. You have Taylor Hall at $4 million. And then after that is really lower. On the forward, I'm talking about only like Kureli and then McKegg and Blade. So my question to you about that is like, okay, what do you do with Krejcik? And because, at the end of the day, the two big players there is really the two UFA there, Taylor Hall and Krejcik, and they are the top 6 players on this team right now. So what you will do if you are Tom Sweeney right now?
I think you bring back Taylor. He was a good fit overall. He's not going to be a $7 or $8 million player, in my opinion. I think you're going to see him at 6. And I think he doesn't care. He wants to be part of a winning organization, and I think this was a great fit for him. So I think he's much more motivated than people realize. And the reason this was such a good fit, though, is because he doesn't have to carry the puck so much. So the more you can have Taylor Hall as a trigger man and tic-tac-toeing rather than trying to skate through everybody, I think it's a great fit for him. So I think you definitely re-sign Taylor Hall. I think Krejci you have to make a choice on. To me, he's a $3-4 million player at this point. He only had like a handful of goals this year, right?
Yeah.
But he's a great setup man. He's a good two-way. But you've got to say, like, can we upgrade that second line center, or can you push Bergeron to second and have a top pick? Like, Bergeron's 35, Krejci's 35. They're going to be 36. Charlie Coyle is paid a lot of money to be a third line center. Like, he's at 5.2, and he's got like 4 more years after this, or 5 more years after this, right? 5 more years. Wow. So that's a tough one. They have very favorable contract with Craig Smith. I gotta think they'll move on from Andre Case. I think they re-signed Nick Ritchie, who took another step, I think, in his development, but might have been a beneficiary of the shortened season. So I think that they're going to have holes on defense and forward, but they're going to have money to deal with it. Okay. And I think there's going to be a lot of potential deals. So for me, I don't know how they could possibly participate in the Jack Eichel scenario. I don't see that they have the assets to do it. I don't know about you.
Not at
I
all.
just don't think that's possible. Even, as much as Eichel might want to go to Boston, that would be a good fit for them, but that's not, I don't think that's going to happen. I would be shocked. I just don't see they have the pieces.
So
So
my
for
next
me,
question
I think
about that, Michael, is Krejcik, how much he will get, and also how much do you think he will offer to Taylor Hall?
I think you try to get Hall for 6 to 7 million. And I think you try to keep Krejci in 3 to 4. And then those are acceptable numbers, because right now you're paying Patrice Bergeron 6.8, you're paying Pasternak 6.6, and you're paying Marchand 6.1. So you're
Yeah.
not going to sign Taylor Hall to more than those guys. And I think Taylor Hall might fall in line with that. He might not care, because he wants to win, and I think this is the best team he's ever played for. So
First of all,
I think
Michael, I
that
want
could
to
work.
welcome Stefan Member, directly from Sweden. And secondly, Mike, Steph, I'm sure you're ready for the big game tonight for Vegas, for Golden Knight for sure. Michael, because that's where you bring a big point. What's my next question to you about when you see Toronto spend a lot of money, like $10 million, $11 million per player, where I think Tampa have a great formula of, don't pay his big guy, but not like over $10 million. They drop everything. But when you see the salary of Boston right now, how they can, it's almost a miracle for me when I see those kind of money there, where nobody is over $7 million for the next season at that moment over there. And you talk about, your franchise player, Marchand, and then you have Pasternak, and they have Bergeron, and they are all under $7 million.
Man. Yeah. Now, so I think what you see with Boston is they back end load those contracts. So like Brad Marchand has 1, 2, 3, 4 more years at 6.1. So he's 33 years old. So by the time he's done, he's going to be 37, 38, and he's still making pretty good money. And it might be past his prime, it might not. But that's the risk they took. They extended it past a certain age. And I think
that's crazy, Michael. He should be at least $8 million.
Now, but they paid him early. They got rid of Tyler Seguin and they bet on Marchand. They knew what they had. Look at McAvoy, 4.9 for another year. So you got to think he's
the next gig about. It was the next one after that about the year free for the defenseman.
But then they got Carlo that is a restricted free agent. So you got to do something with him, and they really hurt when he's out. And he missed a lot of time this year.
This is a great point also about that, Michael. I think that's another that I believe for what I see, Michael, Taylor Hall cannot get over $7 million with Boston Bruins.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's fine with that. I bet he'll get 6.5. I think that him taking
year.
Right. I think there'll be term with it. I think that they'll do what they did with these other guys and stretch him past a certain age where he normally wouldn't get those in the later years, and they're okay with that.
Michael, if they do that, but I'll be honest with you, Michael, if they do that as this money you just said with a longer, this may be the best contract of the next what's coming for next season.
I think we have to temper and look at what Taylor Hall really is. Like, Taylor Hall is, aside from 1 year, a 27 goal scorer.
He will make 1 point per game over there.
He's always just under. If you look at his career, he's typically like, 0.8 or 0.9 points per game. So it's not bad, but he's not an $8 million player, Pierre.
But again, for $6 million, the top 5 players on your team,
it's good, and he's going to play second line there.
Yeah, so I think it's good. Let's move on for the defenseman, like you just said.
Let's look at his stats, Pierre. He misses a lot of time. He always misses time with injuries.
Yep.
So if you look at like this past season, yes, he got 8 goals in 16 games with them, but then in the playoffs, 3 goals in 11. That's more typical.
Yep.
Year before, he had 16 goals in 65 games. The year before that, he's limited to 33 games. So he's played 65, 33. He had 11 goals in 33 games. The year before that was his big year. He was MVP. 39 goals, 76 points. But the year before that, still in New Jersey, 20 goals in 72 games. So he's always missing time, and he's consistently under 30 goals, sometimes closer to the teens. So he's prone to long slumps. And that usually, I think you can see, if he doesn't have a great centerman and he's overcarrying the puck. Look at Edmonton, 26 goals. The year before that, 53 games, Pierre, and 14 goals. The year before that, 27 goals, 75. So let's call him what he is. He's a $6.5 to $7 million player. And he's better on the second line with a really good center.
Yeah. All right, I think we'll be good about that one over there. Now, the
And it's a great
the
fit for
defense.
him.
The defenseman, Michael, what they have to do now? What they going to do right now? Because now they're going to lose maybe Mike Riley and Kevin Miller. At least they signed back them. The rest of the bottom of this list is not great. Other fact, they still have low zone. And then Zoril, he never been yet. His players, I thought it was a little bit, I don't know, he was hurt. I'll be honest with you, I did not follow up with him.
Yeah.
But the left side is where they struggle the most. You have Krutchik and Riley's going to maybe leave. What your expectation about that?
It would be interesting to see if they go after like an Ian Cole, where they can get him for a reasonable amount of money and he would fit really well. Like he made $3 million the last year. He had a bigger cap hit, but he only made $3 million. So they get an Alec Martinez. Like those are guys that are left shot guys that can play second pairing minutes, and that's kind of what they need. Those are a little older guys, but they're reliable, right?
Yep.
I could see them bringing back Riley because he had a great year overall, and I think he's a good, third pairing type guy that can play on the power play a little bit.
They would cost him cheap anyway.
That's what I'm thinking. Like that type of player, or a Slater Cuckoo would be an interesting fit there. So I think that's what they probably do to round it out. An interesting name that is but he's restricted though, so that's not going to work. I was thinking of,
but they would need absolutely like a top left D at some point.
Right. That's why I kind of am thinking like the unrestricted guys would be Alec Martinez or Ian Cole. They're a little bit older. They might fit for a couple years shorter term contract.
But I don't think Ian Cole can be that guy that players they're looking for, where they can put him as the top three defensemen. I don't say he cannot fit at the bottom four. Six, or bottom three.
No,
but
I think he's kind of a number 4 or 5, right?
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So the next thing about that, Michael, also is like, what do you do with Rask? We know already Alak will be out. Rask is another UFA about that on that line for the team. How much if you sign him? Now, nobody talk about this like, as an excuse, but Taker Rask played for the last 2 months with an injury where he would need a surgery the next couple of weeks, and he was not make it as an excuse, but he was barely can play the last 2 games. And he mentioned this after the game last night. So
for sure, you could tell
he's a 35 years old, I believe, right now.
So good though, Pierre. I mean, you got to try to get him for 3 years at $7 million or something. I don't know if it's possible, but I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Would he take that to stay in Boston and finish it out? You'd like to see him finish his career in Boston, frankly.
I don't see him nowhere. I think you have 2 things for me. He signed with them or he's done with hockey.
You think so?
But that's a character. That's who he is. Like, if you follow him the last couple of years, he's not going around to make more money somewhere. He's not the prototype of guy like that. At least for what I know, for what I saw from him. You can see last year he was about his health and the family, everything like that. And he was not about the team. He's really conservative about that. I don't see him like, I'm going to Edmonton to get $9 million because.
Well, that's what I was going to say was Edmonton.
I don't see that. I don't see that kind of player who will leave for the money.
Man, can you imagine him in Edmonton though? That might be a missing piece.
Yeah.
But he's older. Like, he's not young. He's going to be 35.
Yep. Good morning, Kimberly. Have a good day, Stefan. I apologize. Didn't see this until then. But will be very interesting about that. The finalist, Boston, is already 41. Michael, I create for you a list of the players where It's you
Oh
can
boy, I
see
can't read
the
this.
draft from 2020, 19, and then at
For
the left,
Boston?
their performance during the year, like in USHL. I think yesterday during the live show, you talk about Mason Laurie, but I
Yeah,
just
he's
want to sharing
interesting.
with you about that.
Well, he's interesting because he's produced high. He's a big guy. He's like 6'4", 6'5", I think, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And he have a good
he's
year,
produced.
Michael, this year. He's 59 point, 48
I
games.
know. That's why I'm like, he's gonna go to college. I'm trying to remember where. So they have two interesting prospects. I'm not sure if either is ready, but he's one of them. The other one is John Beecher. But they're pretty good prospects, and I don't know what's gone on with Axel Anderson. Like I don't know how close he is. And we saw Vakanayan a little bit, but they're weird. Yeah, I kind of think they kind of do this graduation thing where they try to ease guys in over time, which is pretty good. So like, is Vakanayan ready? He's going to be 22, 23. Um, I think they'll do the same thing where this kid will go play college for a year. That would be my assumption. But we've seen them bring guys to the NHL too early, right?
My only concern for Boston, Michael, since 2016, honestly, only McEnvoy make a difference so far.
True.
Vaskinen is nothing yet. The 18 no round first one.
No.
19 they pay the price they pick. Number 30 and Betcher is not like right now he's with USHL, but not really have a great year. And then you have to go last year, last the second round with no first round pick. So you can see they tried to win at the end, and then they pay the price also. And also since 16, Michael, they never pick under 14. That's not easy also for a hockey team to develop players, right?
Yeah, I don't see that being impactful in the short term. They obviously, unless they decide to just start tearing it down, you're still getting great production from a bunch of guys like Bergeron, Marchand. Pasternak's young enough. They got to figure out that second line position. I don't think it's Krejci. If you re-sign Hall, you got to find him a centerman.
I see. Yeah, it
So I
makes
don't,
sense.
I think that's the focus to me. And then to your point, you need a top three defenseman, and those
Yeah,
guys are probably out there, but they're not going to overpay for them.
I
So they
agree
might
with
just do
you.
a patchwork quilt, right? Like which I don't know if that gets them over the hump.
Yep.
So they have a few question marks. So that defenseman, and what's interesting? He went to Culver Academy, and then he played Green Bay. You know where he's from, Pierre? He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Yeah, but he's listed as 6'4". He's pretty high skilled guy, and he looks like he's going to be a big, strong guy. So we've seen before where maybe he's supposed to go to Ohio State, but maybe he skips it.
Yep. The next one, Michael, I want you to look about this. What will be your pick? What do you think your Seattle Kraken is going to pick? As I'm talking about the Toronto Maple Leaf, Michael, I make a list on the left side right there where the dark like blue color on the left are
Yeah,
they are the
I don't know if I
ones you
can
have to be right there. Like they cannot do anything because they select by the Toronto Maple Leaf, I believe. They are protected. The white, they
yeah,
are the one are not protected, and the green are exempt, like 1 year
yeah.
NHL if you turn that. So like Mikhail, Sandin, Liz Green, and Robinson. What do you feel about Toronto Maple Leaf about that for protection if you turn that, or what do you think they're going to go? And if after
I think
that,
that
who do you believe they will pick?
I think that Kerfoot and Dermott are the two that I would target if I'm Seattle. And Dermott, I think, can play top 4 minutes, and he's pretty cheap right now. And I think he's got upside. He's a real smart defenseman. He's got a little bit of offense. He doesn't really get on the power play enough in Toronto. And I think he would be really useful in Seattle. And then Kerfoot, I think he was like one of their better performers in the playoffs. He didn't have a great regular season, but he doesn't get primetime minutes either. And, he's capable of getting 15 to 20 goals if he's given ice time. And if you look at the formula that was in Vegas, guys like William Karlsson got extra playing time and became, regular NHLers. And I think Kerfoot's probably in that category.
I agree with you about that one over there. I think it's the right thing. Now, if you are Ron Francis now and you see this list, for example, that's what we believe Toronto is going to give or offer to the Seattle
I can't
Kraken.
read
You run Francis right now. You see Toronto list. Who do you pick and why?
I think it's Dermott for me. I just think he's inexpensive. He's underrated. He's a real good skating defenseman. He's good one-on-one. And you could probably, if you give him a bigger role, he can play power play minutes.
I would go with
goals are
Kerfoot.
going to be a premium. It just depends on the other D that are available in the league. But I think I over-index on defenseman, Pierre, and then you can trade defenseman later.
Yeah, I think I would go with Kerfoot. I think you're going to have a lot of many more defensemen available in the play or the at list. I believe a little bit better to Dermott. I don't say he's bad. It's just like the good thing about him is a young player. So you need to learn. But I think as a franchise like that, is a guy maybe with 5 and 6 where you can get a solid, good third line, maybe second line at some point. He proved he can be helping any team right now. He have a great playoff, like you just said. But I think I agree, both of us, is like it's going to be between Kerfoot and Dermott. Now, before we move on to the game of tonight, Michael, the situation with you in Toronto, honestly, it's Frederick Anderson and also Hyman. I don't want to talk about Galchenyuk and Simon and the players where they have 1 year contract, they're leaving, where they stay like Jason Spencer. But I want to mention 2 players, Frederick Anderson and also Hyman. What do you think they will do, and what their best guess? I would say to you, what do you think they will do?
I think you bend over to keep Hyman. I think that you make sure that happens. I think he's worth $5 million. He's been underpaid at 2 and a change, but I think he's worth more in Toronto than anywhere. So if you can get him for 4.5, 5, maybe on a COVID deal. Let's say he goes to Edmonton. Is he as valuable in Edmonton as he is Toronto? I'm not sure. I think so.
Yes. With Edmonton,
but,
I'm not saying everywhere, but with Edmonton, I think he would get that.
It's got to be a specific fit.
I think Edmonton, but like Nashville or something like that, I agree with you about that one. Now, what I want to mention to you, Michael, is this part. Because the Kraken situation, they cannot sign him right away. They have to wait until the Seattle offer him a contract, and they have to become now a UF3 after that, and then they can sign him. Because if they do this before, they have to remove 1 players in the top of the 8 players they have, and they may be losing like Justin Hall or maybe Jake Marsden. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I don't see Zach Hyman wanting to leave Toronto. He is 29. He's a 92 birth year. I don't know.
But
I'd be very
you understand
surprised
my
if he
point there.
wants
They cannot sign him until everything is done.
Yeah. Well, they could sign him now.
No, because
But you're
now they
saying
have
because
to
it would expose someone, right?
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. So I think that he's going to try to stay in Toronto, and they're going to try to keep him, would be my guess. I don't think he wants to deal with Seattle. I can't see that fit for him. He's grown up in Toronto, and his dad's really got a firmly established presence there with Markham, where they changed Markham Royals, the junior team, and I just don't see it. His dad's heavily involved.
Your point about to stay in Toronto, everything like that.
I
agree with you. I don't see him, and I don't see he's a good fit for Seattle to get him. I think he need to be a fit where they have a productive players like Matthews, McDavid, or maybe Jack Eichel, maybe, I don't know, but not that kind of franchise players right there. I don't think so. The guy's going to score 30 goals, 25 goals, and to be your number 3. Is more the guy picking up all the dirties on the ice. I think that's the way he is.
He's so valuable to Toronto for that role because he can score too. Like, he can capitalize on the stuff that are created.
He's able to score 20 goals.
Yeah, well, he scored. He's shown that he's actually maybe a little more, which always shocked me. But that's the thing. I don't know if he's not going to do 30 goal morales.
No, that's the point there, he go in the corner and pick up the puck, right? It's not Matthews. Marner's going to get those stuff like this. That's his job to pick up the puck. So I think he's a good fit for that line over there,
I think
for
so.
sure. And then finally about this, Mark, Michael, is about what do you do with Frederick Anderson, and let's move on after that.
Problem with Freddie has always been injuries. I don't. There's opportunity, I guess, to upgrade in goal, but I'm not sure if it's like overwhelmingly better than Anderson. So I think you think about bringing him back, but they're going to be, financially conscious just because of the cap, not because of actual money, right? So I
I
don't know.
believe
Like,
Michael is the hand for Frederick Anderson with Toronto. They can
I
afford
think it
him.
is too. I think they believe in Jack Campbell. I still think he's probably better than Jack Campbell, but he's got so many injury problems, Pierre. It's like you can't rely on him.
Honestly, he's going to be a UFA. Tomorrow we're going to talk about him, but I really believe he's going to Edmonton.
That's what I would think would be a great fit for him.
Yeah. The other place, Carolina.
Well, that's a good option too. I think there's a bunch of teams that are in the market for a goalie, and he's going to get paid to go to one.
I agree with you about that one over there for sure. Now, I want to mention everybody, we have a game tonight. We have a live stream at 8:45 for Colorado versus Vegas. That's the reason I put this. That's also for the live stream, but also, Michael, we have a couple of more minutes. What is your expectation? What do you feel about that game? And
I gotta think Colorado ties this up, man. They've been so close.
Not me, but
it's either going to be.
You can
I don't know.
I don't see this, but what you
is Vegas really going to beat them 4 games in a row?
Oh yeah.
God, I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean,
there are too many factors for me. I'll be honest with you. When I look again, I have too many factors. First, Vegas don't lose at home. Second, the crowd was going to push a little bit more Vegas. Thirdly, Robert struggled, Michael, for the last 2 games. He has only 87,
I think you're going to see Nathan
88%.
McKinnon on fire. I think
Dan McKinnon, he don't go nowhere. Fifthly, Vegas have the last choice on the line. I don't say, listen, if Colorado win, I'll be happy. Game number 7.
I know. I hope
if we look all this thing like that, that's the reason I said Vegas. Make sense?
No, I get it. I totally get it. I just hope it doesn't happen. I mean, I want Colorado to tie this up and then finish it off.
Yeah, I understand for that part over there.
Tied up, go home.
So we want to do this like, I don't know if I can see that. Yeah. Michael, I want to give you like, we're going to something like that where I say, okay, 5.5, Michael, do you go under or over?
For what?
For the game tonight. Between Colorado, over or under? So do you expect 6 goals in the game or less of 6 goals?
Oh, man, I think it's going to be like a 3-2 game. It's either going to be a blowout for Vegas or it'll be a 3-2 game.
Okay, so you're going to. Since Simon, I agree with you about you said Vegas probably to win tonight.
That sounds like Colorado to me.
I will go over, not under. I will expect 6-7 goals. I expect 4-3, 5-4. I had a lot of goals tonight. That's my prediction about that. So people, if you want to betting on the game, if it's a good way to do that,
I know nothing about that.
Me it's over. Michael is under. Tomorrow we're going to let you know. Jason man go under too. Michael is go with you, and yeah, that's what my point here about that one over there. So I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch. I think last night it was good to watch Boston, and I was impressed, Michael. I know I'm shifting right now, but I was impressed, Michael, for the fact like they have a lot of opportunities during the game last night. Like they was open up more. I was expect more close for Islanders. Islanders have a lot of chance to score last night. Prior to score 2 empty net, but they Boston a couple of times. But I was more tight game, I think so. I can say that. Not many physicality last night, Michael. The 28 hit and 34 hit. Only nobody, both teams have 40. For me, what surprised me on the quality of Islanders Boston usually. So I'll be something about that. Michael, I want to bring to you. I know I did not talk to you about this, but tomorrow we're going to do that, and you're going to be the guy on the chair. I'm put you all the time on the electric chair. Tomorrow we have it's called Friday Fun Day, UFA. Still out. So what I'm going to do, Michael, I will bring you example.
You should call it Stay or UFA.
I will say to you, Michael, Alec Ovechkin example, right? So you answer should be said is in and out, and the people in the crowd will have to tell us also like he's in or he's out, and maybe some of them with why. Everything like that. So we're going to mention 20 players. We want to welcome Lisa D. The Light Show. Welcome aboard. Thanks to stop by this morning. Appreciate a lot. But I think for the Friday will be good about that, and maybe we have no game tomorrow night, Michael.
That's fine.
That'll be a first time for the many weeks. I don't know what to do tomorrow night. I'll have to start to
watch Star Wars.
I'll have to do a cooking show live tomorrow night or something like that. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see that. If, by the way, Michael, if the Colorado win tonight, they have game number 7 Saturday. If the Vegas win tonight, Montreal fly tomorrow morning, Friday morning, go to Vegas. The first game is going to be Saturday. And I believe the first game between Islanders and the Boston and the Tampa is Saturday also. But I could be wrong. I have to look about that. But I don't see tomorrow night. I could be wrong also. I did not look this morning, be honest with you. I don't have this in front of me right now. But that's conclude the show. Do you have anything to add or anything you want to talk about before we go, or anything you want to add?
No, and I don't see anything posted yet either. So
can you see NHL? Can you look about NHL?
I don't see anything yet.
You don't see anything like
it only shows the Vegas Colorado games at the moment.
Yeah, I can see that too. Me too.
Yeah.
I don't see the Tampa Bay right there. That's it. Michael, before we go, we just get this. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow, but we just heard that one. Let me finish the show with you. The Trophy Heart finalists are Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews, and Connor McDavid. Who's going to be the winner? Tomorrow we can talk about this more, but quick.
Connor McDavid.
McDavid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That is like no question. Like,
no
yes,
question.
maybe, Michael, the best season since like 1985 from Gretzky.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately,
41 goals from Matthew. It was a great year. Not many have this close, but I think for me, McDavid, for what he did, it was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, you can see us North Division, you can see all kind of stuff like that, right? But for me, no excuse. I think it was like amazing performance for Connor McDavid.
Yep, for sure.
All right, Michael, we're going to let you go. I appreciate for your help tonight. Just some man is right there with you. He's agree with you. So I will see you tomorrow morning. I will finish the show and conclude here. So have an amazing, great day, Michael.
Thanks, Pierre.
You're welcome. Thanks again. Here we go. We are now at the time of conclude the show. We just want to thanks each one of you to participate to the Hockey Nation Live Show early edition with Michael Devellano as a co-host. Michael always bring a knowledge, a lot about hockey, everything like that. Tomorrow we have what's going on tomorrow, Michael, Coach. Tomorrow we won't talk about Vegas, Colorado. If Montreal is going to play Saturday, we're going to start talking about this. We have game number 7. We're going to talk about this. Tomorrow we talk about UFA. Like we just said, we'll have a game staying out, everything like that. Guys, for some of you are in the show right now, you're welcome to join us live. You just have to mention to us you would like to talk with us. We're going to give you some minutes talking and about hockey, everything like that. So you're welcome to join us. You just have to mention in the chat room. We're going to open up that for sure with you. So tomorrow is a Friday fun day. We do here every Friday. We bring fun. We try to have a question. We're going to have a little bit like a quiz, trivia tomorrow also. And we're going to see happening like when the game start with Tampa Bay. We'll maybe do some prediction. So that's go around for Friday, fun day. So I look forward to see each one of you. We want to thank you guys to participate for the show today. And finally, of course, don't forget to subscribe and like the video for the live stream for today. And finally, you know what's coming for you guys, because you know what's happening every single time we conclude the show.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing, happy, thankfully Thursday. I look forward to you tonight, 8:45, for another great live stream of the Hockey Nation Live Show with your host, Frenchy, for the game number 6. Biggest Golden Knight holds the Colorado Avalanche. Thanks again, everybody. Have an amazing, great day. Thanks, Chainsaw Man. Have a great day. Carey Price. Take some rest, buddy. Be ready. It's coming, the rubber. Have a good one, Gambole.